Hey everyone, welcome to the first Nutrient SDK product update of 2025. We really appreciate you joining us today. We're excited to walk you through what we believe is a major leap forward in how developers will build and scale document-driven applications. I'm Greg Ives with the product marketing team here at Nutrient, and joining me today is Bradley Hearn. Bradley, always great to have you here.
Thanks, Greg. Good to be here, as always.
Absolutely. Well, how lucky are we that we get a front row seat to all of the amazing products being built by our teams? I mean, it's pretty special knowing that everything that we're going to cover today is helping our audience build applications that improve the way people interact with documents.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, as we'll get into, our engineering and product teams have been hyper focused on delivering a better experience for developers, whether that's upgrades that you've asked for, solutions you didn't even know you needed, or tools to help you build faster. So I'm excited to dig in.
Absolutely. And a huge shout out again to our product and engineering teams. They've really done some amazing work here, as you'll see today. All right, but before we jump into our presentation, I do need to cover a few housekeeping items. First, we understand how busy everyone is, so we're going to try to keep today's event to around 30 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less. If you experience any technical issues or just have any questions about today's webinar, drop them into the Q&A tab on the right side of your screen. Now, one thing that's a little bit different today is we're not going to do a live Q&A at the end of the presentation due to the large amount of stuff that we have to get through and the variety of the roles and functions of everyone joining us. We'll be sure to reach back out to you directly after you're done if you submit one. So that means absolutely encouraging you to, yes, ask all the questions you want. We'll follow up with you directly after the event. And then, yes, the webinar is being recorded and will be available on demand on our site and other places. All right, on to the agenda. So before we get to the product updates, I do just want to spend 30 seconds or so talking about the mission that drives everything we build for you guys. Essentially, the why behind what we do here, right? Then we'll run you through this quarter's updates, which will be available for you to try today. And then at the end, and actually along the way, we'll point to places where you can go to learn more about all of these features and new offerings. All right, so let's just start out with a simple truth. As a developer, you don't need more complexity in your day-to-day role, right? I think we can all agree there. You need tools that will help you move faster, build with confidence, and provide value to your users without having to spend weeks or months on infrastructure, compliance, or edge cases. That's why at Nutrient, we're focused on one thing, creating the building blocks that streamline your process and ultimately allow you to develop and innovate at scale with less friction. And it's that focus and commitment to providing an exceptional developer experience that you'll see firsthand here today. Specifically, this past quarter, we doubled down on enhancing the developer experience in 3 key areas. First, we're evolving our document web services, a cloud-native platform that gives you different options depending on how you build. Second, we're delivering smarter tools that live right where you code, so helping you accelerate every step from testing to debugging. Third, we're providing next generation updates to our suite of SDKs that will allow you to provide the features needed to grow and scale your applications in the months and years to come. All right, well, that brings us to why you're here today. Bradley, go ahead and kick things off.
Cool. Thanks, Greg. Okay, so let's start with the big picture. At Nutrient, we consider ourselves a partner in your development and have always believed in meeting developers where they are. And whether you want to build a straightforward viewer in your browser, experiment with more advanced document functionality, or whether you want to integrate deeply into your backend. But what our team often hears is this: you want more flexibility and you want less friction. And so that's why we are expanding our cloud-based offerings with new ways to build, to scale, and to deploy document workflows. And so today you're going to see the fruits of that evolution, which is more options with less effort, or in other words, more power with less overhead. So you may have previously used our cloud tools under the name DWS API, but today that's evolved into a broader category called Document Web Services, or just simply DWS. And within this new iteration of DWS, there are two powerful sets of APIs. DWS Processor API and DWS Viewer API, all designed to support whatever architecture your team needs. So Processor API is still your go-to for all the headless document automation, generation, extraction, and more. It's all the processing power you already know and expect about with our DWS APIs. But the star of today's show is the new Viewer API. The Viewer API, which is now, as of today, available in public preview. It's a cloud-based deployment option for Web SDK users to deliver back-end grade performance in just minutes. So Viewer API is a seamless first step, for front-end teams to access that server-grade capabilities without spinning up or running any infrastructure. You can stream documents from the cloud, improve rendering speed, and offload resource-intensive processing, while also enhancing collaboration and improving security. So whether you're building a new signing experience or just another internal collaborative workflow for your users, Viewer API is your new entry point to serious performance with no containers, no backend logic, just a Web SDK and an API key. So naturally, as I mentioned, you'll see performance gains, with faster load times and smoother user experiences. But what makes this a game changer is how fast you can get started, and then how far it can take you. This is largely about reducing complexity, yes, but it's also about expanding possibilities. You can unlock features that were once reserved for our document engine, which of course is still available as self-hosted or managed options, deployment options. Things like office conversion, OCR, linearization. And because documents stay securely in the cloud, they're never downloaded to a local device. And so you have tighter control over how files are handled and saved, and ultimately enhances security. So Viewer API isn't just a new deployment option. It's truly an on-ramp to explore everything that you can do with documents in the cloud. And the best part, you can start using it today. So go give it a try. The Viewer API is live in public preview, as I mentioned. So go to our website, nutrient.io/API/cloud or /viewer-API, and see what you can build.
All right. What a huge update. Thanks, Bradley. But you know what? We didn't stop at the viewer. You can now connect Web SDK directly to the Processor API to enable cloud-powered signing, OCR, conversion, and more without spinning up any custom backend services. For instance, you can now handle digital signing without having to set up and manage your own infrastructure or having to navigate the complex procurement process to obtain a digital signature certificate. You can even hash the document client side and send only the signature request, giving you security and privacy right out of the box.
Yeah. So we've just shown you how DWS gives you more control over how and where you deploy document functionality without the infrastructure headache, actually. But deployment is just one aspect of the developer journey. It's an approach. We also know that the everyday workflow, the way you write, test, and ship code, is just as important. So that's why we've been investing in tools that live where you code. And so tools that accelerate the first mile of development, tools that streamline iteration and help you stay in flow. So let's take a look at two new additions that are changing the way developers like you build with Nutrient, starting with the revamped Web Playground.
All right, absolutely. We believe testing should be as smooth as deploying, and that a robust testing environment is essential to bringing concepts to life faster. That's why our Web Playground has been reimagined as a fast, flexible developer sandbox with real-time editing, version switching, autocomplete, and shareable URLs. You also have access to dozens of pre-built examples, allowing you to use code shared by other developers in our awesome Nutrient repository. Now, if you're not familiar with our web playground, it allows you to instantly spin up an SDK environment, tweak your code, and share live examples with a simple URL. You're also able to easily switch between SDK versions to test for smooth upgrades and compatibility. But look, don't just take our word for it. We invite you to try out this premium test environment for yourself by visiting nutrient.io/playground.
So speaking of making your build easier, every developer knows the pain of context switching, flipping between tabs, scanning docs, searching Stack Overflow. It breaks your flow and it breaks your focus. So that's why we created Nutrient Copilot. It's an in-editor extension powered by GitHub Copilot that brings everything you need: Nutrient documentation, examples, troubleshooting guides, right where you're already working. And so whether you are writing your first application or you're debugging something complex, Nutrient Copilot integrates seamlessly with VS Code and meets you in the moment, with instant answers, code suggestions, faster fixes. So no more losing momentum, searching for the answers, no more tab fatigue, just smooth, focused development the way it should be.
All right, well, that brings us to our third and final bucket of updates. For those of you that joined us for our last product release webinar in December, I believe it was, you may remember that we talked a lot about building a new generation of document solutions. And one of the headliners for that update was the release of our AI assistant for Web SDK. And in the months since, we've seen an overwhelming response from companies looking to provide their users with a powerful new way to interact with documents. But we didn't rest on our laurels. In fact, we're thrilled to announce that we've brought the same power to mobile applications with our AI assistant for iOS and Android. With this update, you can seamlessly integrate AI-powered document insights, instant summaries, and contextual search directly into your mobile apps. So whether your users are reviewing contracts, scanning reports, or extracting key insights from a lengthy document, AI Assistant is now in their pocket, ready to help. AI Assistant also allows users to search, reword, or reformat text instantly. It can also translate entire documents or portions of a document into multiple languages on the fly. Need this paragraph translated to French? No problem. Done. And as you can see, AI Assistant is seamlessly built into our industry-leading viewer, giving your users an intuitive on-brand experience. You'll also be happy to know that it works easily with the leading model providers, including OpenAI, Azure AI, AWS Bedrock, and even self-hosted LLMs, giving you the flexibility to build AI-powered document workflows on your terms. To learn more about the document AI assistant for mobile or even just AI assistants for our web, you'll find a ton of information on our SDK site under the products section.
All right, so we just, as Greg just looked at how AI Assistant brings document intelligence to mobile. But as you know, when you're training models, powering search, or building your own AI workflows, the format of the data can matter just as much as the model. And so that's where our new .NET SDK conversion updates come in. With PDF to Markdown conversion, you can transform complex documents into clean, structured content as easy to process with LLMs and other AI tools. So headings stay headings, tables stay tables, sections stay intact. And because Markdown is plain text, it integrates beautifully into Git workflows, version control, content pipelines. As you know, you are not locked into proprietary formats. You are actually unlocking a new layer of document intelligence and doing it in a format that is fast, flexible, and future-proof. But of course, not everything's AI. Sometimes it's just about access. And so PDFs, by default, are not the most accessible format, as everyone here is very aware. And with our new PDF to HTML conversion, you can turn those static heavyweight files into clean, responsive HTML that's ready to be read or indexed in any browser on any device without plugins or friction, whether it's reports, contracts, guides, disclosures, anything that needs to be seen, searched, or shared becomes instantly usable across the web. It's a simple shift, but the impact on usability, accessibility, and discoverability is massive.
Yep, and to continue on that theme, for organizations focused on compliance and accessibility, our new auto tagging feature in .NET helps you instantly generate PDF UA compliant documents, making them readable by screen readers, braille displays, and other assistive technologies. We've also continued our ongoing effort to apply Baseline UI, which is our proprietary design system, to our Web SDK, which will help us improve the accessibility, customizability, and UI consistency for your customers.
All right, so we're also leveling up some of our core SDK capabilities, and text comparison is certainly a new, exciting one. Because comparing two versions of a document, whether it's a contract or a legal memo or a board packet, has never been elegant, to use a word. Too often, users go off and try to use third-party tools. They break their workflow, hope they find what changed in this massive document. But document review is one of the most critical and time-consuming tasks in this knowledge economy. And so the answer is a text comparison component seamlessly embedded within the Web SDK, one that highlights text insertions and deletions and modifications with side-by-side views and allows your users to identify and jump directly to those changes. But this isn't just a compare feature. It is a fully visual, deeply integrated experience. It's what seamless document review should look like. Changes are processed instantly with clear color-coded edits. Users get a dedicated sidebar that organizes the changes and allows them to navigate between the edits easily. And they get to it within a UI that feels like it was designed just for them, because it will be. You can customize their experience, like the toolbars, the layouts, and even highlight colors to match your app's look and feel and your users' preferences. And last but not least, text comparisons features also let you scale with confidence. Like, you can rest easy knowing that your users can review high volumes of documents without sacrificing speed or accuracy. So no extra tools, no complex setup, just effortless document review at scale.
All right, that brings us to our final major update, a series of enhancements to one of my favorite offerings that we provide, and that is our Document Authoring SDK. For those of you who may have missed its introduction late last year, Document Authoring delivers unmatched document creation and editing capabilities and goes far beyond what's possible with other rich text editors. Users can open, design, edit, and export even the most complex documents from the convenience of a web browser. Document authoring also helps streamline your workflows. For instance, you're able to open docx files and export edited documents to docx or with perfect fidelity to PDF. And with this most recent round of updates, we introduced enhanced performance for large documents, additional formatting tools, including headers, footers, and rulers within the tab stops. We also added the ability to include and edit hyperlinks and the ability to easily add floating images to a document. If you'd like to learn more about document authoring or try it for yourself, visit the SDK portion of Nutrient's website and click on the Products tab. We're, again, really excited about the possibilities that this SDK brings to our customers, and will continue to share updates in the very near future. All right, so as you've seen today, our product and engineering teams have been super busy focusing on and delivering developer-centric innovation and performance. First, by expanding cloud-based services to give you more options for how you build and deploy document capabilities within your applications. Second, by introducing new tools that streamline your day-to-day workflow so that you can write, test, and ship code faster than ever before. And finally, by delivering SDK updates and features that help you build more robust document-centric applications for your users.
And remember, as we mentioned, you can try out a lot of these things today, especially these first two buckets. So get in there, see what you think. And the SDK updates, there are plenty of ways to learn more. Like our website, of course, has plenty of information, guides, getting started, blogs, and a demo button on literally every page. And if you're new to Nutrient, you can find buttons and links to our free trial or ways to contact us on also virtually any page of the website. We would love to hear about what you're building, so please reach out. We'd love to have a conversation. And so now, with all this in mind, I want to just zoom out again and give you a little context with these updates. If you're not familiar with the full scope of who Nutrient is, our breadth of document solutions, and why we build what we build. At Nutrient, we're on a mission to evolve how humans experience and interact with documents with an unrivaled breadth of document solutions, whether it is our industry-leading SDKs, which you are familiar with, our ever-evolving cloud-based document web services, which you're now more familiar with, or our Microsoft 365 low-code solutions and workflow automation platform. We provide tools that serve as the building blocks to help you create seamless and secure and scalable document ecosystems, helping businesses like yours deliver on the initial promise of digital transformation, to help you go from that world of unnecessary complexity toward simplicity, and then ultimately toward growth and true innovation. We take pride in simplifying that complexity you face. We've talked a lot about complexity today. We take pride in simplifying it to be your solution for today's digital document challenges, but also, more importantly, to be your partner for tomorrow's document innovations. Here at Nutrient, we are thrilled to be building the future of document innovation alongside you. And so with that, I want to thank you for joining us for today's presentation and spending time with us today. We hope that you found these updates informative, or even better, maybe you saw something that sparked an idea for how you can help your end users. Either way, we would love to hear you. We'd love to hear from you, whether that's reaching out to our customer success team or our sales team, or by trying our products for yourself and visiting nutrient.io. And with all that said, on behalf of Greg and the entire Nutrient team, thank you for joining us today and have a great rest of your day.